And we're live. Welcome back to the Ben Bitcoin podcast, where I talk about the future of money. I'm your host, Jana Vasquez. Let me start off by saying I hope everyone watching this is safe inside their homes away from this virus. This week has been an interesting week for Bitcoin, as always, so let's talk about it. For a market recap, I am bearish in the intermediate term and short term, but bullish in the long term. In the last episode of the podcast, which was 2 weeks ago, I was looking lower before higher, trying to catch a small trade. An update on that, I got stopped out of that trade for a loss of about 1%. Nothing terrible. I just saw an opportunity and I took it. Fundamentals in Bitcoin haven't really changed that much for Bitcoin since the last episode. If you want to see my fundamental analysis, just go watch the beginning of the previous episode. With that being said, I'm going to dive straight into the technical analysis side of Bitcoin right now. So looking here, I am looking down in the intermediate term, looking for a C way down. That is a mess. Oh my God. Looking down right here, Bitcoin went a little higher than expected, puncturing that 78.6 retracement level from this downward move and upward move as a potential 1-2. It still technically is a potential 1-2 because it hasn't punctured what I don't have listed here. I guess I removed it. But the 88.6 Fibonacci retracement level, if that technically still holds, it's technically still a wave 2. It's just really deep and it increases the probabilities that it's not. So in the probabilities that it's not, I have a alternate red count here, which also temporarily serves as a primary count as a wave 2 pullback up, but also as a bullish upward trend. So in the short term, either for that bullish case that it's going to break out above this, it still needs a pullback, assuming that these 5 waves are done. And in the bearish case, as a wave 2 pullback, it still needs a pullback around this area. So either bullish or bearish scenario, it's gonna pull back. I want it to pull back. It'd be ideal for it to pull back. In the case that it doesn't pull back and it makes it back up to these highs right here, local highs at 7,300-ish area right here, then that just increases, that either just makes me move over the 5 if it just gets rejected at that level, but if it continues pushing above, it increases the chances that it will retest the high of the high 74s to the low 7,500 level as was created over here. And that destroys the ABC count I have right here. And then we're just have to either reevaluate and just be a full bull and just give up the bear scenario. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, I'm looking for the 0.5 to 0.786% retracement level of this 5 waves up for a bearish scenario. So around the 68, high 68s to low 66s. I know it's a big range, but that's how this volatility works. Makes us money, right? I have support levels listed here in these red lines I thought I listed a while ago. They are actually weekly support back from 2017. If I can zoom out and show everybody. Back from 2017, this consolidation area, that was just insane. That is support from the high and the low of that before it broke down. So, yeah. What I also wanted to explain is this, in this little downtrend potentially as lower highs are happening, and let me draw a line so the visual people who learn visually can see that. As you see lower highs, potential B wave is incoming. What I wanted to point out characteristics of a B wave, as you can see, is in this 5-wave structure, it continued to make new highs with some lame momentum, so that clearly indicates a need for a pullback. So what I want to point out is the characteristics of a wave B. Prices reverse higher, which many see as a resumption of the new long-gone bull market. Those familiar with the classical technical analysis may see the peak as a right shoulder of a head and shoulders reversal pattern. The volume during wave B should also be lower than in wave A, blah, blah, blah. But I also wanted to point out for the people who are also visual, not just pointing out spitting numbers and stuff like that. Head and shoulders pattern as the right head and shoulder. Potential. Where is that? Oh, right here. Potential left shoulder being created here from the 3 and the 4, and the 5s over here as a potential head. I'm not saying it's done right here, or I can pull back a little bit higher or something like that, but we're seeing the start of a right shoulder for a target. Eventually, if that comes to fruition, head and shoulder reversal pattern would target where it originated, which is around 64.50, and that would make my bearish bearish analysis intact. Otherwise, yeah. So there's a short little summary for if you can't keep up with my rambling as I try my best. If it breaks above this local high and is rejected, then I just move the 5 over. If it breaks above this local high and continues up, it increases the probability that we're revisiting this 74, high 74s to low 7,500-ish area. And that increases the probability that a bullish scenario is in the play. If not, I'm just going to look lower. That is kind of it. I'm just going to look lower with a target around the high 55s-ish area. So, yeah. So that's all for episode 24 of the Better Than Bitcoin podcast. It's kind of short, a little summary, I'm just rambling. I'm going crazy in this quarantine. Tell me how you're doing in the quarantine down in the comments below if you want to. Yeah, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at @JaneDamascus. So if things change as of recording this, which things usually do, I'll keep myself and others updated on through my Twitter. So go follow me on there. And peace out.